I tell you what, folks, the race to net zero is certainly a costly one in more ways than one. Higher bills, higher regulation, higher legislation, and being forced to change things at a rate which is simply unsustainable and unaffordable. Well, they're talking now about homes and people that rent homes out, and it looks like, on the face of it, property investors are going to think, why the hell should we bother? Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the last one of the day, so tune in, listen to this, see what you think, and obviously I'll be back tomorrow unless there's anything pressing. I hope you're well. Thank you very much for the support for the channel. Please continue to keep doing what you're doing. I really do appreciate it, and let me know how you're doing in the comments. Well, when I see news articles which say if you don't do this you will be fined this amount, I go, bang! I want to know what's going on. Now, this one is all to do with new rules being put in place, which are forcing property owners to upgrade their homes to meet net zero targets. Otherwise, they get fined. And it doesn't paint a pretty picture. I'll actually read you this news article because it's got a lot of detail in it, and you can see exactly what's going on. New rules which aim to ensure housing meets net zero targets are causing much concern for Britons, a leading property association warns. Under new proposals, people will be blocked from letting properties unless they're upgraded to meet net zero energy efficiency targets as soon as 2028. I mean, that's only, what, 4.5 years away? That's no time at all. Landlords could face a fine of up to £30,000 if homes do not have an EPC rating of C or above. I mean, I've been in this house 10 years, and I remember when I moved in, I was given a big thing of information, including the EPC rating of this house. Can't remember what it was, but they have to jump through so many hoops. Discussing the impact of the new legislation on the sector, Jonathan Rowland from the National Association of Property Buyers said the potential imposition of these rules by the government is causing much concern to property owners, landlords especially. The problem is the costs to reduce energy consumption are usually high, and there's very little return on the money spent. You're probably talking about heat pumps and all this sort of thing they want to ram down people's throats. Landlords can't really ask for more rent because the walls are insulated, and tenants save very little on fuel bills with almost all energy saving measures. Floor insulation in a small 2-bedroom house would cost anywhere between £4,000 to £6,000 and save £36 a year. That's not a good ROI, not at all. With financials like this, it's easy to see why, to meet targets, the government must impose potentially draconian rules and regulations to get us to improve our housing stock and reduce carbon emissions. Without them, who would bother? Green targets are driving this, not a traditional business case. It will soon be time for landlords to decide whether they stay in the sector or quit now before things get even more expensive. Whether you agree with the targets to improve the nation's housing stock to meet low carbon targets depends to a great extent on whether you feel that climate change is indeed caused by emissions and whether it should be our top priority or not. Compared to the catastrophe of global warming, concerns about house prices may seem trivial, but there is a little doubt that this will only add to the exodus of landlords we are seeing. The UK has committed to an international ambition to reduce its greenhouse emissions by 2050. However, the challenge faces a huge threat as Britain is flooded with old, inefficient properties. Economists warn that the government plans to encourage homeowners to upgrade the energy efficiency of their homes will cause a substantial chain reaction on the property market, with millions of homes expected to be affected. Experts fear it will worsen forecast house price falls. Landlords already squeezed via the removal of tax breaks, and eviction red tape will be hit hard in particular. Businesses are also facing pressure as similar regulations are introduced to commercial properties. I'll leave that link in the description below so you can read it yourself. I mean, you think about this. I live in a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. This has been here It's probably 40 years old, this house. It's the last part of the estate that was built that I'm on, and we've recently had all the windows and things replaced. That's what the landlord did. And there's loads and loads of houses like mine out there, and they're making it more difficult, saying if you don't do this, you know, we got a boiler that's making a noise just over there now. Does that have to be replaced with a heat pump? How much is that going to cost? And then, you know, landlords are going to think, oh, sod it, we'll sell up. Who's going to buy it? Some government registered company? What about all these rabbit hutches with bricks wrapped around them in the form of shared ownership? Is this where they're trying to funnel people? And, you know, you pay for the rent for your bit, and then what you borrow, you pay the loan on that. Who is sharing the ownership with? Who's the company? Who's involved? This all just stinks of something very nefarious to me. Call me paranoid, but that's how it feels. Have a read, have a listen to what I've said, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyway, that's me done for today. I'm off. Have a good one, folks. I'll see you tomorrow with more of my stuff. Toodaloo.